let's talk about sex. And as a matter of fact, although primarily women are probably going to be watching this video, I hope that the algorithm puts this across men as well. Because a lot of what I'm going to be sharing are things that men need to be aware of to make the experience better. And from a woman's perspective, it's important for you to know these things so that you know what to ask for in sex. There's a reason why I wanted to speak on this topic. And I feel like it's one of those things that a lot of people think about but don't speak on. The reality of things is that sex is important, very important, not only because it's pleasurable, but it's also a great way to deepen your emotional connection to your partner. And there are other benefits to sex as well, like it improves your health, overall mood, and even your sleeping cycle. And yes, all of this has been scientifically proven as well. Ultimately, sex is good for you, so why not make the best of it? And even if you're someone who enjoys casual sex, wouldn't you want to make the best of it and reap its full benefits? Because I can't be the only one who has been intimate with someone and has repeatedly left feeling unfulfilled and unsatisfied. So whether you're single like me, dating or married, I'm going to be sharing the core aspects of making sex more pleasurable every time. The first aspect about enjoying sex more is that you have to feel safe and comfortable. Think about when you're being intimate with someone. You're being seen in one of the most vulnerable ways possible. Think about when you're naked in front of someone. That uncomfortable, shy, self-conscious feeling that you get. And of course, that goes a little deeper into self-confidence and self-value. However, when you and your partner create a safe space for each other, your attention will not be on your insecurities. It'll be in the experience. I'll talk about this a little bit more later in the video. However, it's very important for you to feel cared for, appreciated, and desired by your partner. Not lusted over, but more so feeling adored by your partner. And of course, this comes down to the person. They have to make you feel this way. Is your partner creating a safe and comfortable space for you? A great way to do this is by checking in with each other and asking for consent. Also, if you're anything like me and you need connection in order for your mind and body to relax during intimacy, then building a connection with that person before being intimate is a must. And let me also add that just because you know someone for a long time or been with them for a long time does not automatically mean that you feel comfortable and safe with them. At least this wasn't the case for me when I was in my 3-year toxic relationship. Another thing that can really help in creating a safe and comfortable space outside of giving your consent and creating a connection are compliments. I freaking love when my person acts as if I'm the baddest, most beautiful thing that they've ever had. It boosts my ego a little bit, and in this scenario, there's nothing wrong with that, especially when they're giving me compliments on the parts of myself that I'm most self-conscious about. The second aspect is secrecy or lack of communication. You need to be open and direct and tell them what you like and don't like. Not everyone likes the same things, and just because their ex liked things done to them in a certain way, or just because you guys have been doing things in a certain way for a long time, doesn't mean that you should continue to do it that way if it's not actually pleasurable or if there isn't really any excitement in that anymore. Please understand the importance of discussing sex with your partner. You have to communicate, and both partners should be open-minded enough to feedback without getting offended. Let me give you an example here. When I was invoicing myself in sex, the person that I was being intimate with would be doing whatever it is that they were doing, and 8 out of 10 times I probably wasn't actually enjoying it. I would just fake it. I would fake moan and I would fake the entire pleasurable experience, right? Which also led to low lubrication throughout the experience because my head wasn't actually in the game. Versus those that I felt comfortable and safe to express myself to, the experience would be way much more enjoyable and pleasurable because they were actually doing the things that I liked. They were doing the things I actually found pleasurable. In other words, they were hitting the spot. And let me give you another example here. Let's say that someone is giving you oral and they've been down there for the past 10 to 15 minutes. But you're not actually enjoying it because they're not doing it right. And you're not voicing yourself about it either. Isn't that just a waste of time and energy for the both of you? If they're not penetrating you in the way that you actually like it, fast, slow, aggressively, softly, or whatever it is, you're simply not going to enjoy it as much. So why not tell them? Don't be afraid to voice yourself. You're doing yourself and them a disgrace by not speaking up. And I don't know about you, but I'd rather have my partner tell me exactly what it is that they don't like, because I don't want to be doing the things that they don't like, period. What I'm saying with all of this here is that it's just as important for you to express yourself and to not shy down from doing it. It's only going to enhance the experience for the both of you if you openly communicate about your likes and dislikes. Number 3, foreplay. Oh my God. I'm not even trying to exaggerate, but I could literally make an entire video on just foreplay. Unknowingly, this was the missing part to opening up a portal of waterfalls for me. And the thing is that most men don't actually know how to perform foreplay, even though they think they do. And that's because most men prefer to skip over foreplay and hit straight to the jackpot. And a lot of times when they do engage in foreplay, it's short and focused on one aspect. Okay, I'm going to share a personal story with this one. For quite some time, I thought I was broken. I thought I had a problem because I couldn't really lubricate as much during sex. And although, yes, the connection aspect definitely played a part in these situations, I would still say that foreplay is just as important, if not more. The majority of the men I was being intimate with did not perform foreplay in the way that I wanted them to. And if they did perform foreplay, it would be the simple kissing on the neck for a little bit, going down, maybe playing around here, going a little down, performing oral for maybe 5 minutes, and that was the problem. I once read somewhere that foreplay should last about 30 minutes. Yes, 30 minutes. A lot of people hear this and are probably thinking, I don't have all that time to just be rubbing and touching around. And okay, maybe you don't have to go the full on 30 minutes. You also don't have to time it, but I would say go for at least 10 to 15 minutes and go with the flow. Listen to your body. But what I realized is how big of an impact foreplay has in the arousal and lubrication of the body, specifically for women. It wasn't until I came across the first person to actually take their time with me that I realized the power of foreplay. We took about 30 minutes just exploring our bodies without penetration, and man, boy, oh boy, when I tell you I was dripping, without exaggeration, I was dripping wet. I was shocked at my own body. I honestly didn't know that my body could do that because, again, I thought I was broken. I thought I had a problem. All that time, I thought I was the problem, but it was never me to begin with. And you know, I've heard a quote about this, or I've seen like a meme where they say like, if she doesn't get wet, it's not her fault, it's your fault. And I have to admit that that is actually true. The partners I was having sex with weren't doing the things that my body required them to do. And obviously, you don't always have to do this long form of foreplay. Sometimes you're just going to want a quickie, and that's okay. If you're attracted and connected enough to that individual, it'll be just fine, and you'll probably lubricate just fine. However, I still highly encourage foreplay. Longer periods of foreplay. I'm telling you, this is a game changer to the entire experience. Because the thing is, it doesn't just make you more lubricated, it also arouses you. It makes you want it more. It builds up that momentum where it's like, okay, I want it now, you know? And as you're building that up, it just builds up more and more feelings and sensations. It's like heating up an oven. And I always make this little funny reference where I'm like, would you put food in the oven without heating it up first? You wouldn't want to put your food in the oven when it's not hot. So heat up the oven first. Number 4 is to be present. How many times have you found yourself wandering off in your thoughts as you're being intimate? Usually we wander off about how we look in that moment or how we're performing, whatever it is that we're performing. We're wondering if they're liking what we're doing to them, and we're self-conscious about our body parts. And sometimes we're just thinking about something completely random or someone else in some cases. Basically, your mind is everywhere else but the present moment, which is the experience in front of you. And honestly, this is something that used to happen to me a lot in the past. I will say that after incorporating meditation and mindfulness on a daily basis, this certainly improved for me. However, another really powerful and effective way to bring yourself to the present moment in that moment is through your senses. First things first, don't try to force your thoughts to go away. Forcing isn't going to do anything. Instead, bring your awareness and your focus to your sensations. Focus on the touches, the kisses, the feeling of the experience. In other words, whenever you start to wander off, bring yourself back to the sensations of the intercourse. Zone in on the sounds that are being made out of pleasure. Tune in to the feeling of the penetration. And if you like the person in front of you enough, focus on them. Number 5, being creative and trying new things. As with anything else, whenever you repeat something over and over, it can get boring. Sex can get boring too. This is why it's important for you and your partner to be open-minded and to try new things. And even if you don't like it, or even if you don't try it again, at least you gave it a try. And you don't know, maybe that'll be something that becomes your new favorite thing. Get creative and look up some things. Educate yourself if you don't know what exactly to try. Have a conversation about it with your partner, and if not, surprise them and just start leading them. A lot of people, specifically those that have been in a relationship for a long time, tend to get bored with sex because they follow the same old routine. Even how they start out foreplay is always the same. And mind you, foreplay can start outside of the bedroom. Foreplay could be a flirty text while they're at work, or being playful with one another while cooking or throughout the day. It can be walking past them and seductively grabbing them or slapping. And of course, you can never go wrong with passionately kissing, maybe right before you get into bed or something like that. Basically, think of ways to come up with a new way of approaching one another, of seducing one another, before and after intercourse. Okay, my loves, that is all for this video. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on everything we discussed in this video. And until the next time, mwah, see ya!